This week in news surrounding Israel, it's time to clean out Gaza. So stay tuned, friends, for all the details. Well, shalom, everyone. Welcome once again to this week's newscast. I'm Robert Gottslig, your host. And recently, in a 20-minute Q&A with reporters aboard Air Force One, President Trump said he would like to clean out Gaza and have Jordan, Egypt, and other Arab nations take in 1.5 million Palestinians with the intent to rebuild Gaza. Have a listen to what President Trump told the reporters.
I'd like Egypt to take people, and I'd like Jordan to take people. You're talking about probably 1.5 million people, and we just clean out that whole thing. It's literally a demolition site right now. Almost everything's demolished, and people are dying there. So I'd rather get involved with some of the Arab nations and build housing in a different location where they can maybe live in peace for a change.
Trump's vision for Gaza also sees the eradication of Hamas, which is an absolute must. Trump also sees Gaza, as he said, as a phenomenal location on the sea with the best weather where beautiful things could be done. He's right. And the Palestinians could have achieved that themselves, but instead they voted for Hamas to rule over them and the Gaza Strip, in which then Hamas squandered billions of dollars away of international money. Instead of creating infrastructure to benefit their people, and they could have created a Singapore on the Mediterranean. But instead of doing that, they used the money to build a massive tunnel network, and they turned it into one of the largest terrorist playgrounds in the entire world, all with the intent on trying to destroy Israel. Well, President Trump has a different plan moving forward. And one thing is for certain, friends, there is not much left for the Gazan people to return to. How do you rebuild all that? Much of it is, as Trump said, a demolition site. Of course, there's much pushback from the Arab nations on relocating 1.5 million Palestinians. And when this was brought to President Trump's attention, well, this was his response. Have a look.
Egypt's president and the King of Jordan have both said that they won't take in displaced people from Gaza like you suggested. Is there anything you can do to make them do that? Tariffs against those countries, for example?
They will do it. They will do it.
What makes you say that?
They're going to do it. Okay? We do a lot for them, and they're going to do it.
There you have it. They're going to do it, says Trump. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But to relocate the Palestinians, especially to Jordan, is something, friends, that should have been done a long time ago. Why do I say that? Because if you insist that there was this long-lost land called Palestine, by the way, which there wasn't, but if you insist that, and that it had its own people and culture and government, etc., if you insist that, well, then there really is no better place to locate it than present-day Jordan. Look, when the Ottoman Empire was defeated by the Allies in World War I, Britain and France began to divide the region, which gave independence to Iraq in 1932, Syria 1943, Lebanon 1944, and the British had the mandate to see that the Jewish people also received their independence, as stated in the Balfour Declaration in 1917, which, by the way, became international law in 1920 in San Remo. And instead of fulfilling that mandate, Britain betrayed the Jewish people and instead carved some 82% of the land that was set for a Jewish state back in their ancestral homeland. And what did they do? They gave it to the Hashemite kingdom of Transjordan, which is now called Jordan. So there's your Palestinian state, if you must have one. In fact, friends, most Palestinians have Jordanian passports. And so I agree with President Trump's vision of relocating the Palestinians. And though the Arab world would disagree with Trump's plan and still wants to further divide the land promised to the Jewish people in order to create a Palestinian state, let us all remember what Gaza turned into. A terrorist state, not a state living in peace with Israel, no. And again, it's because the Palestinians are not interested in borders. It's all about existence. Israel's existence. And they want it all, friends. And the Palestinians will never be happy with borders. No, they are wanting to be true to their mantra. From the river to the sea, from the Jordan to the Mediterranean, Palestine will be free. They want it all. They want it all. But what does God have to say concerning the land that he ultimately owns and that he has given to his chosen people, the Jewish people, as an everlasting possession? I just want to read a couple scripture verses here for you. Leviticus chapter 25-23. Ultimately, the land is God's. This is what he says. The land shall not be sold permanently, for the land is mine. That's what God says. The land is his. And then look at Joel chapter 3 and verse 2. And really, friends, this is a warning to the Arab world. It's a warning to the Palestinians. It's a warning to the whole entire world, because this is what we read. I'll back it up to verse 1. Chapter 3, the book of Joel. God says, "For behold, in those days and at that time, when I bring back the captives of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will enter into judgment with them there on account of my people, my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. They have also divided up my land." Whoa. There's a warning for the world. And with that, and until next time, thanks for joining us on another episode of In News Surrounding Israel. God bless everyone.